because they have quarters. So their quarter will end, I think, this week. Is that right? Sorry. Okay. My son just said the classes end this week and then finals are next week. But I think UPenn, University of Pennsylvania, actually is on spring break this week because my son is part of one of the dance clubs at UPenn, even though he goes to Drexel. And he is now, this morning, him and the group went to the Dominican Republic. So it's really nice for him.
So how many days?
They'll be there until Saturday, a week. Really nice. Okay. We'll look at the dialogue in a moment, but as you can see, Linda has joined us, and the other day Linda showed me a book. It was a book on TOEFL test of English as a foreign language practice. So I mean, the design of that, it can be helpful in conversation, but design is more for written English. But it had an interesting question in it, so I'm going to ask you guys this question. The question is, which room is more important? This is an actual question from that book. Which room is more important, the living room or the bathroom?
Bathroom.
Both important.
你们说什么？我没听懂。Annie 老师说什么？
厕所和客厅哪一个房间对你更重要？
So Helena, which is more important?
Point 厕所和客厅，那还是厕所吧。
Yes, I agree with you.
Okay. Anna, you said both.
Yeah.
Okay. Yuchi, which is more important?
Both. Both. Yeah.
All right. Lucy, which is more important?
Both important.
Okay. And Matej, you said the bathroom, I think.
Restroom. Restroom is very important.
Linda?
Yes, bathroom is more important than living room.
Okay. I actually asked my son that, and he agreed with me. We both said the bathroom was more important. See, at least in the bathroom.
Teacher, I asked a question. 美国的英语说厕所是 bathroom or toilet?
Bathroom.
Usually bathroom.
Restroom, bathroom.
Right.
Bathroom, yeah.
In
Restroom 是在business 像 restaurant, you can ask where's restroom.
Right.
Yeah.
In your home, we always say bathroom.
Yeah.
Bathroom. Thank you.
Yeah. Was a like I said, this is actually it's meant so that you would write an essay on it. So a formal essay in American English is a introduction, a body, and a conclusion. I don't know how you could write an essay on a bathroom being more important.
That's so hard, right?
Yes. That's really just which one is more important, the bathroom or the living room? Actually got some interesting answers in the classes I've asked. Most of them have either said bathroom or has said both. So, no one has said the living room is more important. Okay. one more thing before I start, and this again is this actually came from Lucy. Lucy asked me, what is a good way to improve listening skills? And it's really a tough question to answer, but I did talk with a friend of mine, and there really are three things that we came up with. One is listen for keywords. So don't try to understand everything a person is saying. Just listen for the main words, keywords. Two, don't think about your answer, because if you're thinking about your answer, you are not listening to what the person is saying. And that's even true of us. For example, when we have a meeting at work, someone says something and we're thinking about how we're going to respond to it, as opposed to just listening and hearing the full statement. And the other thing, and if you want, I can do this for you. The dialogues that we use do have audio recording of them. And it sometimes helps to read and hear the recording at the same time. So if you want, I can provide the audio recording after we finish class.
I think Joseph posts the audio every time.
No, this
In a
is
group chat.
different.
Oh,
This is
okay.
this is the actual audio of the dialogue,
Oh, okay.
the original audio.
Oh.
Watch some movie. with
Yeah,
Chinese
yeah.
title. Yeah.
yeah. And I said, and this is true. Lucy does have an advantage in that her husband is American. He's a really nice man. He seems to talk fairly slowly, which is very helpful.
Yes.
So,
That's very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But my husband speak English too fast.
You don't worry. You gotta
I
get
said-
used to
I
it.
said, you speak slowly.
yeah.
So since you don't understand what he says, so you feel like he speak very fast. After
Yeah.
that, yeah, maybe.
No good.
Yeah, no, 'cause
Yeah.
I've spoken to him a couple of times. Initially, when we were setting up the tablet for Lucy, and he seemed to talk slower than many Americans. I'll put it that way.
See?
So yeah, part of it is Lucy. Has he always lived in the New Jersey area?
I live
No,
他说你老公是不是一直都是住在 New Jersey 的？
我老公。
应该
Yeah.
是
Yeah.
this
New
area is known for people talking very fast. If you go like to the Midwest, even South, they talk slower. So.
Mhm.
But then if he was from the South, he'd speak with a Southern dialect, and that would be hard to understand. Okay. So do you want me to send the audio of it?
老师说你要他把那个就是我们平时上课的这个 article 的录音发给你吗？就是朗读的录音发给你吗？这样子你在家里可以练习听力。
可以的。
Yeah, she said yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'll do that starting next week. Okay, today we're going to talk about Linda's actually at home. That's unusual. Linda's usually driving at this time for whatever reason. So let me go to Helena. There we go. Helena.
Yes.
how are you today?
Today, yesterday I 那个做核酸检测怎么说 ？I
Take a COVID test.
对 test the COVID and do nothing.
You mentioned that you're working at home. Are people still allowed to go like to Westlake and areas like that?
那老师说什么没听懂
西湖那边公园是开放的吗？大家还可以过去吗？
Yes. We separate 各种区，就是防控区、管控区、防范区。Only up here area can't move. Other
Only
people
your
can.
only your
other people
area.
can,
Area. On the area.
Okay.
area only area can't
All right. So
can't move.
Right.
Can't move. Another people can free move.
Yeah. Okay. So only my area.
Only my area. Yes.
Other people can move freely.
Yes.
Yeah. Apparently, and I actually was talking to Helen about this. Apparently in Shanghai, it's spreading pretty quickly, and there's a lot of areas that are locked down.
Only somewhere area can't move.
Yeah, well, in Shanghai, there's a lot of areas.
Yes.
Yeah. And I mean, the fact that Hangzhou and Shanghai are really close. Okay. All right. Annie, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. And what did you do today? At least you're not locked down. So
I locked down myself at home.
Yes.
Yeah. Weekend routine. I did some chores, did my laundry, clean my house. Yeah.
Yeah. One of the things I have a class on Monday. They're really very basic. It's mostly, well, it's all women. They're in their 60s and 70s. And like I said, really basic. And one thing I taught them a while back, and one lady really likes to use it, is I say, "What did you do?" And she said, "Same old, same old."
What again?
Same old, same old.
Yeah.
It's an interesting class because like I said, they're really very basic, and what we've been doing, what I've been doing with them is I've been writing an introduction. So each week I'll ask them a new question, and I'll put that on the paper and then send it to them. So start with, what is your name? How do you spell that? Things like that. So and they do like to talk a lot. So all right. So Shajan, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How about you?
I'm good. And what did you do today?
Not special, just take a talk walk outside. Today it's very nice. Weather is very nice. Very
Okay.
comfortable. Yeah.
Yeah, it was warm, but we had
Yeah,
from time
it
to
was-
time.
It
Yeah.
was raining this
Yeah.
morning. Yeah.
A little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
had some heavy rain here.
Heavy rain. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Mhm.
I actually like walking in the rain. It's very quiet. It's very peaceful.
Did you use
Yeah.
umbrella?
Yeah.
The air very fresh.
Yeah.
No, some people like to wear the raincoat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I've had a raincoat since I was like in third grade.
Kids like, yeah.
I don't know, you guys. I don't know if they have these. Well, in China they have the ponchos, but in America, usually for smaller kids, they had this bright yellow raincoat with the yellow hat. It rained, everybody looked the same. Like I said, really bright yellow. And like I said, no China use what we call a poncho. So it just, you slip it over your entire top of your body. Okay, Yuchi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. And you?
I'm good. And what did you do today?
Today, this morning, my wife and I went to the DMV to driver practice driving.
Okay.
Yeah.
They open
Uh,
on
Road
Saturday.
drive.
No,
Yeah.
but the track is open.
Practice. Oh, okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. My wife doesn't have a US driver's lesson.
Yeah.
License. Yeah.
Yeah. So when does she plan on taking the test?
Next week.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Well, then I wish her a lot of.
Yeah.
我一学
Thank
英
you.
语，你就那啥，
Okay, I gotta have to mute.
嗯，
Okay. So anyway, I wish her a lot of luck on her test, and just you know, tell her to relax when she takes it, and she'll be fine. And it's good that she's learning how to drive. It's in this country, it's needed, especially in areas like this. There's no real public transportation. I live in a town called Marlton. It's about 12 miles or so from Philadelphia. If I want to take a bus from here to Philadelphia, it takes about 2.5 hours.
Oh.
Yeah, you can take a
It's
train.
so long. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
Petco in Lindenwood.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is I had to take it from my house.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm stuck with a bus.
Yes.
Because it would go from,
Driving. Yes, driving is very important.
yeah,
In
in this country, in this area.
yeah, in this country.
Yeah.
Yeah, inside.
Yeah, I would actually, the bus would have, bus would go from here over to the Camden Transportation Center and everything else. It's so, and actually, I think it starts in Berlin.
Echo, wonderful Echo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Berlin, they don't have stop here. They don't stop here. Lindenwood, then Echo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Echelon.
No. Echo, ATCO.
Oh, Atco. Okay.
Yeah.
Atco. Okay.
Yeah.
什么意思 ？Atco 是酒吗？
一个地方。
一个地方，
哦，
车子停的地方。
Okay. Lucy, are you? Lucy, I muted you. So, how are you?你打开 mic.
Lucy，你把麦打开一下。
哦，卖啥了过呢？哦
I-
very
I-
good.
Sometimes you just auto turn off your mic.
No. I turned it off.
I don't
I turned it off because you were talking on the phone.
I don't know when off. Yeah.
No, I turned it
老
off
师
哦
关的。
哦哦
because you were talking on your phone.
Yeah. Okay.
So so I turned it off. So how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. What did you do today?
Oh, today I went to work. Yeah.
Okay. And were you busy?
Very busy.
Okay. Okay. And British, how are you?
Oh, I'm pretty good. Thank you.
Okay. I like that answer. I'm pretty good. And what did you do today?
Today, we went drive to in the city of Pittsburgh. Go around.
Go around the city. Okay.
Yes, and we had a lunch at a Dutch restaurant.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So, was it Dutch food?
Oh, I remember this name. One is egg Benedict.
Eggs Benedict. Okay.
Yeah, and pudding. 3 is mouse sauce with mustard sauce.
Okay.
What kind of food? Dutch food.
牡蛎加那个芥末的那个
oyster with mustard. Oyster with mustard. First time I heard about it.
Yeah, me too.
Mussels.
Okay. Mussels.
牡蛎
Yeah.
oyster.
Yeah. 然后 we drank blackberry.
Okay.
Yes.
水果酒吗？
Pennsylvania does have a large Dutch and German population, but I did not know it went. Yeah, I guess it does because Ohio also has it. Okay, so it makes sense. Yeah. For those of you that are in the Philadelphia area, you're probably familiar with the Reading Terminal Market. Or maybe not. There's a market in Philadelphia. Like 12th and Arch Street, called Reading Terminal Market. And basically it's kind of like an open market. And most of the sellers in there are Dutch or Amish.
Yeah. I recently I heard Amish people near our area.
Okay, you should visit there sometimes. Interesting.
Yeah, I want to visit.
Yeah. They still use horses, and they don't use a lot of. They don't use any electricity.
They don't use phone, don't use internet, right?
Yeah. So it's really interesting, and it just seems so peaceful. Okay, Linda, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
And what did you do today?
I visited my friend today.
Okay, what would you repeat that, please?
I visited my friend today.
There you go. I wanted to hear that ED.
Yeah.
Okay. Where does your friend live?
He lives in around Sicklerville.
Okay. So yeah, that's 20-25 minutes from here.
Yeah, it's Gloucester County.
Yeah. New Jersey has some weird names. Sicklerville. Okay. All right. We're gonna take a look at the words from the dialogue, and we're going to be talking about neighbor. And it can be very hard to define what a neighbor is. For example, the area I live in, of course, we call it a neighborhood. And there are probably about 200 houses. So potentially I have 200 neighbors. Other areas, the farm areas, the houses are more spread out. and yet they still would be your neighbors. So very hard to define what a neighbor actually is and someone that lives near you. So our words are neighbor, university, apartment, problems. This word is kind of weird. The American English pronunciation of it is karaoke.
It's from Japan.
Yeah, the Chinese is karaoke or something like that.
Yeah, karaoke.
Yeah, so,
Karaoke.
I have no idea how they pronounce it in Japan, but I did put the American pronunciation of it, karaoke. I have no idea how they got karaoke out of karaoke, but
Yeah.
I mean, the Chinese pronunciation is a lot closer to it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Okay. So we have usually. I think we had usual last week. Errands. Another. Relationship. Respectful. Important. And factor. And for those of you who like math, you probably have heard the word factor before in math. And that was something I don't want to hear again. Okay. All right. We've talked in the past about school and classes and things, and one subject I always did well in is math, and I always hated it. I found it too boring. So there we go. Okay, so let me start with we'll start with Helena and Annie. Helena, you read the first one, and Annie, and I didn't color it. Oh well. Annie, you read the second one.
Okay.
我先开始吗？
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, wait a moment. 我找一下那个，稍等一下，我找一下，因为在桌面上怎么找不到呢？
老师这里有啊。
不是，我是用我的电脑，因为那个今天在那个我没有打印出来。
Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll come back. I'll have you read.
Wait a moment. I have.
Oh, you have it. Okay.
I have. Sorry. Who is your neighbor?
My neighbor is a university student. He lives next to my apartment.
When did you become neighbors?
I first met him when I moved to this apartment 2 years ago.
Is he friendly?
Yes, he is. He always smiles when he sees me.
How often do you see him?
Every day and again. Sometimes I invite him to my apartment when I throw a party.
Do you have any problem with him?
Only once, when he sang karaoke too loud, which kept me awake all night. We ended up talking to each other the next day, and he never sang karaoke at midnight from then on.
Does he usually help you?
Yes, he does. He usually helps me run errands.
Would you be sad if he moves to another area?
Yes, of course. That will upset me if he leaves.
What's the difference between friends and neighbors?
I'm not quite sure, but I think the difference may lie in the relationship. A friend can be someone you share your feelings with, while a neighbor can just be someone living next door.
What do you need to be a good neighbor?
Being respectful is the most important factor in building a good relationship.
Okay, good. One thing I would add to the difference between a friend and a neighbor can be a friend, but a friend does not have to be a neighbor.
Yeah.
You can have a friend that lives far away from you. Okay. So let me go to Xiaojian and Lucy. Lucy, you read the first, and Xiaojian, you read the second.
Who is your neighbor?
I'm sorry, I can't see
Oh,
screen.
it does help, doesn't it?
My neighbor is a university student. He lives next to my apartment.
When did you become neighbors?
I first met him when I moved to this apartment 2 years ago.
Is he friendly?
Yes, he is. He always smiles when he sees me.
How often do you see him?
Every day at the gate. Sometimes I invite him to my apartment when I throw a party.
Do you have any problem with him?
Only once when he sang karaoke too loud, which kept me awake all night. We ended up talking to each other the next day, and he never sang karaoke at midnight from then on.
Does he usually help you?
Yes, he does. He usually helps me run errands.
Would you be sad if he moves to another area?
Yes, of course. That will upset me if he leaves.
What's the difference between friends and neighbors?
I'm not quite sure, but I think the difference may lie in the relationship. A friend can be someone you share your feeling with, while a neighbor can just be someone living next door.
What do you need to be a good neighbor?
Being respectful is the most important factor in during a good relationship.
Okay, good. And Linda and Yuchi, you read the first one, Linda, you read the second.
Okay.
Okay. Who is your neighbor?
My neighbor is a university student. He lives next to my apartment.
When did you become neighbors?
I first met him when I moved to this apartment 2 years ago.
Is he friendly?
Yes, he is. He always smiles when he sees me.
How often do you see him?
Every day at the gate. Sometimes I invite him to my apartment when I throw a party.
Do you have any problems with him?
Only once when he sang karaoke too loud, which kept me awake all night. We ended up talking to each other the next day, and he never sang karaoke at midnight from then on.
Does he usually help you?
Yes, he does. He usually helps me run errands.
Would you, he said, sad if he moved to another area?
Yes, of course. That will upset me if he leaves.
What the difference between friends and neighbors?
I'm not quite sure, but I think the difference may lie in the relationship. A friend can be someone you share your feelings with, while a neighbor can just be someone living next door.
What do you need to be a good neighbor?
Being respectful is the most important factor in building a good relationship.
Okay. Before I read this with Pritesh, two things that I should have commented on before. Up here, it says he lives next to my apartment. A more common way that we say that, be it an apartment or even a house, we say he lives next door, NEXTDOOR, or sometimes we call him next door neighbor, the person that lives right next to you. Okay, and down here it says the difference may lie in the relationship. That's a fairly common way of phrasing something. The answer lies in, it means is found in, the difference is found in the relationship. Let's say you are going to bake a cake. I could say the way to make a good cake lies in the ingredients that you use. So if you use good ingredients, the cake will come out good. If you use cheap ingredients, it will not. So lies in is a very common way of phrasing things in American English. Okay. So British, you read the, I'll read the first, you read the second.
Okay.
Who is your neighbor?
My neighbor is a university student. He lives next to my apartment.
When did you become neighbors?
I first met him when I moved to his apartment 2 years ago.
Is he friendly?
Yes, he is. He always smiles when he sees me.
How often do you see him?
Every day at the gate. Sometimes I invite him to my apartment when I throw a party.
Do you have any problems with him?
Only once, when he sang karaoke too loud, which kept me awake all night. We ended up talking to each other the next day, and he never sang karaoke at midnight from then on.
He sang it at 2 a.m. Sorry, I had to say that. Okay. Does he usually help you?
Yes, he does. He usually helps me run errands.
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 Good. Okay. Bridget, do you know what errands are?
Errands.
Bridget, do you know what errands are?
Errands are?
Yeah, do you know what
你
they
知道它的意思吗？
老师问你 errands
跑
是什么
腿。
意思，你知道吗？
我知道。
Okay. Okay. All right. We were talking about errands. There we are. Would you be sad if he moved to another area?
Yes, of course. That will upset me if he leaves.
Errands.
What is the difference between friends and neighbors?
I'm not quite sure, but I think the difference may lie in the relationship. A friend can be someone you share your feelings with, while a neighbor can just be someone living next door.
What do you need to be a good neighbor?
Being respectful is the most important factor in building a good relationship.
Okay, good. So we're going to talk about neighbors, and again, we all have at least several neighbors. I have houses to my left and to my right. I have across the street, and I know all of them. And to me, this is a really good neighborhood. And the neighbor to looking at my house, the neighbor to my left, they are Greek immigrants, and I've gotten to know a lot about Greece from them, and I've also gotten to know different types of Greek food. So it's been really, for me, a blessing. So you can talk about anyone that is your neighbor or was your neighbor. So in this case, we'll talk about who is your neighbor. So Annie, who is your neighbor?
Yeah, my neighbor. Yeah, I just moved in a new community about 2 years. So there are 16 houses around the community, small community.
Okay.
So I knew everyone here.
Yeah.
My neighbor left to me, he is self-employed. So he go to work every day at 6 a.m. I think, yeah, around 6 a.m. and came back 5 p.m.
Yeah.
His wife is a nurse.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And across my house, just right across my house, they are immigrant from Ghana.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they have 5 kids.
Wow.
So big family.
Okay, let me just put that on the board. It would be either across from my house.
Okay.
Or you want to be more specific, because in my case, there's a house directly across, and there's one to the right. So we could say directly across. There you go. So either one, directly across from my house.
Across.
So it means right in front of your house.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Helena, who is your neighbor?
My neighbor is colleague, and in China, a long time, the house is divided by my company.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's my colleague, but we didn't very friendly, 就是 friendly, and only stay at home, only at myself home, and his daughter is in work and live in Singapore. My daughter live and work in San Francisco. We only stay at self home.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to talk about this word colleague. We don't pronounce that U sound.
Colleague.
Yeah.
Colleague 是吧？
No, it's pronounced like this, colleague.
Colleague.
Yeah.
Colleague. You not pronounce colleague.
Right. Yeah.
Thank you.
Is
Colleague.
silent. Yeah. I know. So you must live in a very old area, old building.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Area, and I go to work nearby, so I didn't change the house. But this year I will move a new home because
Yeah.
my daughter buy a new house. I will move the new house.
Yeah, okay. Because I know many years ago, you lived in the housing provided by the work unit.
Yes, work unit. Yes, and went to go to work very 怎么说方便
convenient.
Yeah.
convenient, very convenient. So I can't remove. Move.
Yeah. Okay. Xiaozhen, who is your neighbor?
When our neighbor who lives close from us, they have 3 children. They are from Middle East.
Oh.
Yeah, one of his children is 6 years. Yes. Sometimes my granddaughter play with him.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's good. I mean,
Yes.
Yeah. It's so far been very interesting. We've had, like I said, my neighbors from Greece. Annie is from Guyana, and Xiaozhen is Middle East. So.
Middle East.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yuchi, who is your neighbor?
There are many of my neighbors.
Okay.
The closest one is a retired old lady.
Okay.
We met 3 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Her name is Mary.
Mary. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
It's one thing I do have to. I do have to. I'll put it this way. I have to address.
Yeah.
We don't use in American English. We don't like to use old.
Yeah.
So sometimes we'll say elderly
Elderly.
or older lady.
Elderly.
Now, the weird thing is it means the same thing. It means old, but we don't use old.
Elderly.
Yes. About how old is she?
Yeah. 70.
Okay.
Years ago. Yes.
Years old.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Like I said, here people don't like using old. We say elderly or older. A couple of weeks ago, there was a little boy that referred to me as grandpa. So
don't mention me again.
Yes. Okay. So Lucy, who is your neighbor?
Well, my neighbor is older woman.
Good. Okay. See, she got that.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know where she's from?
Single.
Bless you.
Single woman.
Single woman? Older single woman.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know where she's from? Is she American?
Yeah, before we talked, she said she from Ireland.
Ireland. Okay.
Ireland.
Okay.
Ireland. Yeah. Ireland. Yeah.
We have an international group here.
Yeah.
All right. British. Who is your neighbor?
Oh, my neighbor, Mr. Huang, is a doctor. She has son. I have a daughter.
Okay.
My daughter and her son was classmate.
Oh, okay.
So we can share some information.
Yeah. Okay. And this is in China.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Okay, Linda, who's your neighbor?
My neighbor is a couple. They are all retired, and I think the wife was from Irish too.
Ireland.
Ireland, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So they when the Patrick, what's the name of it?
St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, St. Patrick's Day.
We
Yeah.
celebrate St. Patrick's Day. Yeah.
Yes, and they will have some green hang on in front of their door.
Go coin.
Yeah. Just so you know, St. Patrick's Day is March 17th.
Next week.
This week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little more than a week from now. I am half Irish.
Oh.
So did you celebrate St. Patrick's Day?
No. I don't even wear green. So. No, my mother's family are of Irish descent. My grandfather was actually born here. He was the first one in the family to be born here. His parents were immigrated from Ireland. Okay. So let's go to the next one. Is your neighbor friendly? And in my case, yes, they're very friendly, very helpful. I have one neighbor that in the winter, when we get a lot of snow, will take his snow blower and clear my my sidewalk, so I don't have to do that. Okay, so Helen, you kind of answered this already, but is your neighbor friendly?
Do you talk to me?
Yes. Is your neighbor friendly?
Friendly, so 一般吧。
Okay.
Just so.
Okay.
Because colleague, so I can't see many words to her. The wife is colleague. Wife and husband also colleague.
Okay. I just heard a happy birthday playing somewhere. I don't know what it was coming from. Okay, so Annie, is your neighbor friendly?
Oh yes, we live in the same community, so all the kids here go to the same school. After school, they always play together.
Yeah.
I bought a basketball hoop, just play in front of my front yard. So they always come to my house
Yeah,
to play the
that's nice.
basketball. Yeah, with my son.
Yeah. Okay, Xiaozhen, is your neighbor friendly?
Yes. Sometimes their son came over, and sometimes my granddaughter go to their house.
Good.
Yeah.
Yuchi, what about your neighbor?
Yes. She always wave her hand when she see me.
Okay. Yeah. And Lucy, is your neighbor friendly?
Yes, she is.
British?
Yes, she is.
Okay. And Linda?
Yes, my neighbor is friendly.
Okay. The only one I got a really detailed answer from that was Annie. Most of these answers sound like my beginning class. Yes, she is. No, she isn't. All right. All right, I'll settle for that though. At least they're complete sentences. I'll start with Linda this time. Does your neighbor help you?
Yes, they help me a lot.
Okay.
I'm grateful to them.
How do they help you?
There are many ways. Sometimes I use some stuff is not working. I ask them help me figure out how the problem is, and then
Okay.
my neighbor help me figure out.
Okay. British, is your neighbor helpful?
Yes, she always help us for some medicine.
Okay.
She is a doctor.
Okay.
Doctor.
Yeah, that, well, I don't know about in China, but that can save you a lot of money over here. Okay, Lucy, is your neighbor helpful?
No, she didn't.
She isn't.
She isn't.
Good. Okay. Yuchi, is your neighbor helpful?
Yes, she does. She sometimes taught me English.
Oh, good. Good. And let me ask something. Do you help her?
与其老师问你，你有没有帮助你的邻居？
No.
No. Okay.
No.
All right. Xiaojian, is your neighbor helpful?
No, we seldom meet each other because they have to work every day. Yeah.
Okay. Annie?
Oh, yes. One of my neighbor got quarantined last Christmas Day. Yeah, in Christmas Day. They got a quarantine for 1 week. So my other neighbors and I brought his family cookies, cake, chocolate. Yeah, we help each other.
Yeah, that's good. And that it's good to have a neighbor in a neighborhood like that. Okay. Helena, is your neighbor helpful?
No. No. No.
She was very
I hope my new neighbor will friendly and help each other.
I hope so too. Okay. Just a couple more. I know it's getting a little bit late, but have you ever had any problems with a neighbor? It doesn't have to be now, but any time in the past. In my case, we did have some problem many years ago. One thing that was a problem was a neighbor's dog constantly barking, very late at night, kind of like this karaoke playing at midnight. Some neighbors put their dog outside, the dog gets lonely or whatever, and the dog barks. And it does, not everyone has the same schedule. I go to bed early. So, if your dog is out at 11 o'clock at night, it's going to bother me because I'm trying to sleep. So, Helena, have you ever had a problem with a neighbor?
No.
Okay. Annie?
No.
Good. Okay.
Yeah.
Xiaojian?
No.
Am I the only one that had a problem with a neighbor? Okay.
Yeah, because we have a big yard. Yeah.
Okay.
Every house have a big yard. Yeah.
But even at that, I mean,
close. Yeah,
even at that, if there's a like a loud party or a dog, it can interfere with your quiet. Okay. Yuchi, any ever have a problem with a?
No. No.
I'm the only one here that's had a problem.
Good neighbor.
Okay, Lucy.
What is question? I don't know.
Have you
你有
ever?
没有邻居跟邻居有互相之间有问题的、有矛盾的时候？
Teacher asked me, English asked me.
Okay. Have you ever had a problem with a neighbor?
No.
Okay. All right. British?
No, I'm always friendly.
Okay. Lucy, Linda, rather.
Oh. One time my friend has a dog just temporarily stay my place. My neighbor and the dog barks, so they complain the dog barking.
Yeah.
你的
Yeah,
dog 怎么吵到他们了？
Yeah, the 狗会叫吗？
It's usually the larger dogs. They are a lot louder.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll close with one more question. Fairly easy question. Helena, how often do you see your neighbor?
See neighbor I just say hi, hello， 就是 only
问你多久？
对，多经常看到
多
他们。
久能看到？
看到同事，那就是when I went to home, we'll see next a week 吧 several days or a week.
Okay, several days a week. Okay. Annie?
Every day.
Okay. All right. Shajan?
Not much.
Yuchi?
Almost every day.
Okay. Lucy?
Oh, 2 weeks.
Okay. Every 2 weeks?
Yeah. No see.
Okay. All right. I see what you're saying. So really what you're saying is not very often.
Oh, not very often.
Yeah. So Lucy, let's try it. How often do you see your neighbor? The answer would be not very often. Lucy?
How often do you see?
Right. So you said it was 2 weeks. So the answer is not very often.
Yeah, 2 weeks I know see.
Right.
老师教你说，你的回答应该说 not very often。
不经常。
对，因为你2个星期才见一次的话，就是不经常见面嘛，所以你就回答说 not very
often.
Not very often.
Not
very
very
often. Not very often. Not very often.
Yeah.
Not very often. Oh.
Yes.
You miss N.
Not very often.
Yes.
Okay. Let me go to British. How often do you see your neighbor?
We meet not very often unless we get neither meaning well.
Okay. And Linda, how often do you see your neighbor?
It depends. Sometimes if winter time we met not very often, but I think summertime, warm times will be seeing each other more often.
Okay. Before I close the meeting room, one of the interesting things as we were talking about this often, I actually heard the 2 different pronunciations. Both of them are correct. Both of them are acceptable. Some people were saying often, O-F-T-E-N, and others were saying often, and they're both right. I usually say often. So how often do you see your neighbor? And then I guess some people would refer not very often. Both are right. Interesting word. Probably the correct pronunciation is probably often. Very rarely is a T silent. Okay. Anybody have any questions?
No.
No, thanks.
Okay.
No.
Again, a reminder, this does not really affect anybody other than Helena, but next week we turn the clocks. So
8 o'clock,
8
8 o'clock.
yeah.
时间变了是吧？
改成8
那我们
点了，
我们时间
早上
是几点
8
呢？
点。你们是晚上8点，我是早上8点。
点。
哦，我们没变是吧？
这是夏时制是吧？就是美国的夏时制。
对
对。
好的好的，好，谢谢，知道了。Thank you very much. See you
Okay.
next week.
Everyone have a good week, and I'll see you next Sunday.
See you next week.
you.
Thank
You
you.
too.